What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Stand, where, as you know it, we're getting in another draft before the start of the NFL season. We're here on a Tuesday, gonna hop into another best ball draft here on Underdog Fantasy. Right now, they do have a cheap $5 Puppy 3 still available on their platform, so we are gonna go ahead, sneak in here, and see where, of course, we fall in this draft. Yesterday, we were able to get the 8th pick. Normally would have gone wide receiver there, but Bijan Robinson ends up falling to us in the 8th. And even though we had the choice between him and A.J. Brown, we've been taking a lot of A.J. Brown. I decided to take Bijan there with him falling, just taking that value, which really shook things up. So we actually have the 4th pick here. And honestly, I am hoping I get Amon-Ra St. Brown. What is the news with Tyreek Hill? I did see that he was wearing some type of removable hand brace. Minor injury. Man, a lot of people sidelined there in Miami. That is something to take into consideration, and it's kind of crazy just thinking about all these guys up here of who actually has the least amount of question marks. Right now, the person who is riding the cleanest, is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Christian McCaffrey, of course, calf injury. CeeDee Lamb with the contract. Tyreek Hill now with the hand injury, and everyone there in Miami essentially injured. Jamar Chase, did he returns to camp on Monday? Hey, that was 4 hours ago. But I mean, did he practice? Tyreek Hill. It's actually we're on the clock. I'm actually happy here that Amon-Ra St. Brown did go to us. It did start off pretty traditional. Christian McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill. We're, of course, going to take Amon-Ra here, hoping that some of the running back value, at least later on, that we're hoping falls to us, like Isaiah Pacheco, maybe Kyron Williams, of course, Derrick Henry also in consideration. Although I am actually one running back who is rising up on my board that I am thinking that regardless if I do start wide receiver, and say in that third round Pacheco isn't there or none of the running backs I like are there, I'm kind of looking around this range. Even ETN's somewhat gone, but if James Cook obviously is still there in the third, he is actually rising up on my board where I probably wouldn't mind having him there as that RB1 to anchor. We do know that in this draft, I believe we are still targeting Zamir White. It always has been the 5th round in the past. Right now, I think we can probably get him at a 6, especially with reports of him splitting carries with Alexander Madison. That's totally fine. It's just the preseason. I'm pretty sure they're just giving him some rest. I'm actually going to follow up on this board because we are still a few picks away. But to start off this draft and to kind of see where things are falling, still surprised that Bijan is a little bit there later on. But Christian McCaffrey starts off, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill. We ended up taking Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamar Chase after that, Breece Hall, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, then Bijan Robinson, Garrett Wilson at 10, Puka at 11, and then at the 12, the 1-2 turn, Jonathan Taylor and Saquon Barkley. So it's Jay Brown is going running back to start. A lot of people do seem to be going wide receiver, or wide receiver running back as the Puka in round 2 after Saquon. It was Marvin Harrison, Jahmyr Gibbs, Drake London, Nico Collins, Deebo Samuel, Cooper Kupp, Devon Achane, and now it is our pick. I am looking here, someone who is excitingly rising up on my board, who I am hoping to take, is Malik Neighbors. I actually I want to take him here. There are the running backs I like in Kyron Williams, in Isaiah Pacheco. We are 6 picks away, so I am hoping that Pacheco does fall to us. I want to take the exciting Malik Neighbors. I think he's just going to get peppered with targets. Yes, he does have the question marks of being tied to Daniel Jones. However, it's worth a shot. He's an exciting rookie. There's a lot of rookies essentially taking a chance on, but he is one that I don't have a lot of stock on in these drafts. But as we move forward, I at least want to try and get a couple drafts with him on my roster. After him, Derrick Henry goes, one of the three running backs that we like. We're 2 picks away. We're going to get one of those two. That's awesome. Chris Olave after that, Jalen Waddle, Mike Evans, Devontae Smith, Romeo is about to choose. He goes Patrick Mahomes. He also has Derrick Henry and Tyreek Hill, all top onesie guys. Right now, we have the choice between Isaiah Pacheco and Kyron Williams. I'm going Isaiah Pacheco here. I just think he is a stud. Kyron Williams also would be there in consideration. However, I just believe Isaiah Pacheco could be special if he just takes over that 3-down row, becomes somewhat of the next Jamal Charles. He is just going to be a great value here in the third. So in a lot of these best ball drafts, you can get Pacheco, Kyron Williams, Derrick Henry in the third. You do need that earlier pick, though, because after the 6, as you can see, Kyron Williams goes there. All that's left are essentially Travis Etienne. If you want to take a chance at Josh Jacobs, and of course the wild carder who has been rising up on our board to consider there, just to kind of keep that strategy, I guess. In the third, we could always go someone like Travis Kelce, who we, of course, would love. I just know there's a lot of great tight ends later on that we will be able to get. So with us being 8 picks away, we'll go ahead and see who falls. Travis Kelce is queued up, but he is within 3 on these players. Really looking here, we have a shot at Rashee Rice, George Pickens, also in consideration, get another third great wide receiver. We could go a top tight end in Mark Andrews and Trey McBride. Lamar Jackson is there. Another great wide receivers in Terry McLaurin, Calvin Ridley. We could go James Cook. We could take that chance and think that, what was it? He put up 1,500 yards total last year or something. What was his total? Yeah, over 1,500 yards. That's insane. Quietly. 3 picks away. If Travis Kelce somehow falls to us, it was just a smash play to choose him. After that, I'm kind of looking maybe George Pickens. We did lose out on Rashee Rice. He did go a little bit earlier there in the 4th. Amari Cooper, we have a shot at Travis Kelce here if the guy in front of us doesn't go. But he has A-Chain, Chase, Devontae Adams. If he had a playmaker like Kelce, it would just be okay. He goes Laporta, though. Wow. I just think Travis Kelce, he is going to be special. He's still dating Taylor Swift, which means he's, one, any game she attends, he's going to be the star. But 2, he's going to be the star regardless. We'll go ahead and take Travis Kelce there. In the 4th, that's just hard to pass up. If Travis Kelce was not there, George Pickens would have been in consideration. Honestly, since we have already 2 stout wide receivers, with James Cook rising up on my board, he could have been easily a pick there in the 4th. He still could be a pick here in the 5th. This is essentially where we had been taking Zamir White. There is also some wide receivers that I do like that, of course, would make this hard. Calvin Ridley, Terry McLaurin, because we like Jaden Daniels. Xavier Worthy, I think, is going to be, he goes before us. Mark Andrews, Trey McBride before that. George Pickens there in the 4th. James Cook is right here available. I think that's who we're going to go. I think he is tremendous value. He is tied to a great offense in Buffalo. Hopefully, we can try and pair up Keon Coleman with him as well. We are 16 picks away. And so that's the only thing where we do lose out on, say, some of these other wide receivers that are going to be great. Terry, like I said, the two right left are Terry McLaurin and Calvin Ridley. Terry McLaurin goes right there. Nate Bailey actually has one running back champion and 4 wide receivers. Calvin Ridley goes right after with another veteran in Calvin Ridley. He has 1 quarterback, 4 wide receivers, Jalen Hurts, but paired him with A.J. Brown, Nico Collins, Brandon Ayuk, and Calvin Ridley. All great. They're punting the running back position essentially. And with this being the 6th pick, and honestly, even though as much as we love James Cook, this is where that pick will more than likely be, say, a Calvin Ridley or so. Only because I do want Zamir White on my team. And, you know, here in the 6th, you kind of have a chance where I guess maybe some of these wide receiver ones. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr., Keon Coleman really would have to take him here. He's rising. Definitely rising over Zamir White. They've essentially reversed and switched an ADP where you would have to choose Keon Coleman over Zamir White. We're 2 picks away. Brian Thomas goes there. This is going to be hard because we do love Zamir White. However, Keon Coleman is there. Christian Watson goes before us, and you still have people like Chris Godwin, Deontay Johnson. I think I'm going to stick to my guns, go Keon Coleman here. I'm going to stick to my guns. Keon Coleman has essentially been the person that we have. Well, and I'll take him at the 6.9, 69 pick. 4 picks away, Alvin Kamara goes. Oh, yeah, Curtis Samuel also with the turf toe. So he really has to beat out Khalil Shakir, who will be great. No doubt about it. 2 picks away, hoping for Zamir White here, knowing in the 8th. Honestly, in the 8th is who we are hoping Jaden Daniels will be there for us. One pick away. Jake Ferguson goes. So we do have, of course, some great options available. Deontay Johnson, C.J. Stroud, Lad McConkey, who is going to be that slot wide receiver guy. I have Zamir White right here queued up, kind of over Raheem Mostert. That's how I've had it essentially over the course of this drafting season. But that could possibly switch. Or at least I could possibly switch with Raheem Mostert and Zamir White. I still believe Zamir White is that 3-down person role. Raheem Mostert, I believe, will have another year of greatness. I feel like they want to do right by him, especially as he is getting older. We're 12 picks away. Our first pick right now we have queued up is Jaden Daniels. These quarterbacks are going. It's Jay Brown. Let me see. There are 4 teams that don't have a quarterback before us. So even though we would really love Jaden Daniels here in the 8th round, I don't think we're going to get him. That's actually some notes to learn too, that Jaden Daniels, we're going to have to go ahead take him in the 7th So, yeah, here's the thing. If we wanted to obviously take the guys we like, we would have to essentially miss out on James Cook here to spend up early on someone like a Keon Coleman who we want on my team. You have to spend up on your guys and then essentially fill in Zamir White. So in 7, people are going to ask you why you're spending up a little bit early. It's so in round 7, you can actually go and take the quarterback that you want. So it's unfortunate, but if that's how you want to try to build out your team, those are the sacrifices essentially you have to make. I mean, here we could miss out on Travis Kelsey in the 4th, essentially go after, get that running back here, figure out who was around that time. We're actually, 4 picks away? Let me go ahead and see who's. Oh, Caleb Williams goes. Look at that. That's very interesting. Raheem Mostert just goes right there, 2 picks in front of us. 3 picks in front of us, I mean. DeAndre Swift right after. Raheem Mostert highly in consideration of who we want. DeAndre Hopkins is there. We have a chance. We may have a chance here. We do. We get the quarterback we want in Jaden Daniels. The other quarterbacks available, Jordan Love, Dak Prescott, Jaden Daniels is the one we want. A lot of great value around here as well. Ramondre Stevenson, Jonathan Brooks, who will be great later on this season. Some good running backs: Chase Brown, Brian Robinson Jr., Devin Singletary, who will be the who will be the starter there. He has that role locked up. Jerome Ford, Rico Dowdle, who could possibly take over that situation. Blake Corum, who would be in consideration had we drafted Kyron Williams. Just didn't want to have to make that pick a for sure pick. Jalen Polk working with the starters. They're hiding him. He's really been getting some limited preseason action. Oh, hey, it's ours. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. Brian Robinson Jr. Brian Robinson Jr. That's who my pick is. He was still on the board. I think he is the 1A there to Austin Eckler's 2. I don't even necessarily want to say 1B. But they will split time. And here's the thing. We have Jaden Daniels, so we now have Brian Robinson Jr. tied to this offense. This actually wouldn't be a bad roster spot where we do target Austin Eckler a little bit since he is down here being a backup. He will get those PPR points, obviously, as Brian Robinson Jr. will get those touchdowns. So this is best ball. That wouldn't be a bad strategy. That we have 3 starters with all 3 with different buys. Another great starter with a different buy. We shore up his backup, who will be a decent backup. And there's always going to be some good receivers that we'll be able to add on that will provide some great value. We are 9 picks away. Going to look down here to see in the range. There's other running backs, too, that we will be able to add on as well. We could take a shot and just add on, say, like Jared Goff, just to ensure there's going to be, other running backs, Trey Benson. Ezekiel Elliott will get some touchdowns, some exciting rookies in Jalen Polk. We're 5 picks away. Devin Singletary off the board, a couple of picks. Rashid Shaheed right before. Pat Freiermuth right after. Joshua Palmer, 3 picks away from us. Right now, we do have Jerome Ford queued up. He's an RB1. That's just going to provide more value to us. So, honestly, the 2 picks I have right now are Jerome Ford and Jared Goff. Everyone does have... I feel like running back actually does provide the most value right here. We do have our champion in Jaden Daniels. However, oh hey, Tua goes right after Dontavian Wicks after that. Jerome Ford on our team is worth more to us than Jerome Ford on someone else's team. Especially when looking at these squads and knowing that they only have like two good running backs essentially on their team, Kamara, James Conner. He'll of course be targeting Trey Benson, Tyler Lockett, Khalil Shakir off the board. Adonai Mitchell. We're one pick away. We have a shot at Jared Goff. We're hoping, and we do. Other guys here in consideration, great running backs still available. Rico Dowdle, Blake Corum, Trey Benson, Austin Eckler, who would just lock up our position. I much rather take Jared Goff here, provide us that extra value, those points throughout the season. He is going to be pretty decent up there. Looking at the other quarterbacks, I mean, we could have waited for Kirk Cousins maybe. Matthew Stafford, his health is somewhat in consideration. Hamstring, he is getting older. I mean, 36 years old? I mean, I like Cooper Kupp this year. I think he can bounce back, but a lot of people have to realize that this offense relies on Matthew Stafford. If anything happens to Matthew Stafford, then that offense plummets, even to Kyron Williams. That's one reason, honestly, why I kind of went Isaiah Pacheco as well over Kyron Williams, even though he was still there. Austin Eckler does go 2 picks there, so we at least miss out on those PPR points for Brian Robinson. But looking at this roster, we have 5 starting running backs available. We'll be able to show up one more for our backup. So right now, Jalen Polk, right before 9 picks. We are just waiting on the wide receivers we attack. I forgot the tangent I was just going on, but I want to get guys who are tied to great offenses, and Isaiah Pacheco is the running back for arguably the number 1 best offense in the NFL. That's who I want. James Cook, arguably as well. His rushing touchdown upside will be in question. Obviously, with Josh Allen there, possibly stealing, most of those. I have Jahan Dotson queued up because we do have Jaden Daniels. I'm purely playing the stack in best ball. Jahan Dotson does have the opportunity to lock up that wide receiver 2 role. He hasn't yet, but he still has the opportunity to. We're 1 pick away. Man, Trey Benson is also here. That is also very tough and in consideration. I'm actually going to go Kirk Cousins here as our 3rd quarterback over Jahan Dotson, over Trey Benson. We're 5 picks away. I think Kirk Cousins just has more of an opportunity to give us more points. Cablata goes ahead and takes Trey Benson. Oh, with the James Conner. I guess I should have looked at that too before of who was had the James Conner. I thought he had already passed this, but that is also why you look ahead. 3 picks away. Do have a shot at still Jahan Dotson here. Xavier Legette queued up. If not, he is another rookie that I do like this year. Shot Bateman. I'll take a chance at Adam Thielen again. J.K. Dobbins goes. 1 more pick away, so we're at least going to get 1 of 2 of the wide receivers we like. Purely because of best ball, not locked in as a starter. But you know what? Dotson still is going to get his. So I'm going to take him with the stack of Jaden Daniels there. 16 picks away. We will more than likely lose out on Xavier Legette. 14 picks away. may have a shot at Rashad Bateman. He's more than likely within 10 picks as we are 13 away. So right now I am going to start looking at some other wide receivers that I possibly like. Tim Patrick, I believe, is the right now in line for that wide receiver 2 role. So Tim Patrick to me is a sneaky pick to go ahead and lock up. We have 5 running backs. I'll go ahead and queue up Alexander Madison just in case. I know he's locking. He's the one backing up Zamir White, so might as well. Brendan Rice rising up on the depth chart could take over that wide receiver 3 role over DJ Chark. That's some exciting news to possibly pay attention to. I'll look at some other wide receivers there as we go, but we are 5 picks away right now. Still have Rashad Bateman queued up, and he goes right there before. So after that, ADP wise, there is Malachi Corley, Jermaine Burton. Interesting. Man, this is going to be tough. One pick away. Demario Douglas goes right there. So right now it's just us choosing the wide receivers. That makes sense. Malachi Corley to me, 4 catches in NFL debut. I think he's a decent body this year. Once again, another I believe exciting rookie. Is he a rookie or is he a year 2 guy? After that, we're gonna fill out some of his roster. Jermaine Burton goes right there. Jordan Whittington is on my board. Reports of him possibly going up. Demarcus Robinson, though, could possibly be the wide receiver 3 there. Just looking else, Tim Patrick. I believe the reports are he is the wide receiver 2 there, so could provide some good upside here in these later rounds. Obviously, this is also good to know on my end because, like I said, had we not gone James Cook there, I believe we would have been able to fill out our roster with either a Terry McLaurin or a Calvin Ridley, then be able to still have Keon Coleman as our wide receiver 4, and honestly probably feel a little bit more comfortable with that. Instead, and obviously have Isaiah Pacheco, Zamir White, Brian Robinson there. Just looking, Demarcus Robinson. I'm going to go Tim Patrick. I just feel some people could see the reports, just know he's there. I honestly do not want any pieces of the Denver offense, but if I'm trying to find the best value as I can, he'll more than likely be here. Demarcus Robinson was in consideration with reports of Tim Patrick being the wide receiver 2. Would you rather want a wide receiver 2 on the team or wide receiver 3? That's the reason I want Tim Patrick. I want to take a chance on Jordan Whittington with the reports that just McVay likes him. With Puka being injured, could he come out and just establish some form of role? We are light also on tight end. Technically do need 2 to fill out this roster as best and balanced as we can. I'm going to look right here. Reports that Colby Parkinson is the starting tight end in LA. That's good to know. Theo Johnson, still, it was 14 days ago, but continues to get the first team reps. I believe he still is there. Zach Ertz is going to provide some value. Dawson Knox returns from his injury. It's good to know. We are 3 picks away from ours. Oh, we do lose out on Jordan Whittington. Look at that. The veteran knows the name. Oh, that's a bummer, at least on our end. We're 1 pick away. Jordan Mason from there. Just looking down here on who could possibly go. My choice would be Colby Parkinson. Ben Sinnott is there. He is the rookie. 44-yard catch in his debut. You know what? Damn it. Okay, we're going to go Colby Parkinson there. We're hoping Ben Sinnott will still be available there in the 6th. I'm okay with Parkinson. However, I was just thinking that Ben Sinnott or going the Washington tight ends would probably be the better route. So that's something to go ahead and think about into consideration. 2 picks away. Ben Sinnott does go there. 1 pick away for us. Going to look because it will be a while before we choose again. Just looking at Theo Johnson is there. Alexander Madison kind of later on. Zach Ertz, of course, too. I think I'm going to go ahead and go Alexander Madison here. Just go ahead, lock up that running back. We know our last pick that will be 16 picks away will be a tight end. Theo Johnson in consideration, him being that young rookie that could emerge. Right now, we still have a shot at grabbing him. But I also do have Zach Ertz queued up as well, with him being tied to the Washington offense, with us having Jaden Daniels, and of course, possibly having that stack with him. I think he's listed as the starter. He does have that history with Cliff Kingsbury, so he does have that edge over the Senator Ben Sinnott. So this is where, to us, Zach Ertz would more than likely be the better pick. He does have a chance at just repeating and having, say, like Trey McBride or that situation where Trey McBride does take over in that role. Ben Sinnott can take over there. Theo Johnson goes right here. 9 picks away. We're just hoping that Zach Ertz can fall to us. We projected 2,800. One of our kind of more average picks. We'll see if Zach Ertz can move the needle as much, but definitely always want to try and leave around here in the 2,900, 3,000 projected range. You feel a bit better, but we did start this draft with 2 wide receivers and 1 running back versus yesterday, where we decided to start off with, I think, 3 strong running backs off the top. Definitely will have to go back and revisit and just kind of look at the 2 rosters. But we got our champion, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and an exciting rookie in Malik Neighbors. Isaiah Pacheco being our RB champion there. I would start, and I had Travis Kelce in the 4th. I would start that personally. Here in the 5th, we did go James Cook, but honestly, after reviewing the roster and our belief in Zamir White, comfortably would have him as an RB2. This is where I think Calvin Ridley or a Terry McLaurin, one of these other receivers would be better in that 5th round to also pair him with Keon Coleman. Oh, hey, it's also our pick. We do have Zach Ertz. That is going to be our last pick to be tied to Jaden Daniels. Didn't move the needle a lot. Like I said, we're right underneath 2,900 at 2,892. couple picks away until the end. But that is the one note here, at least as much as we love James Cook. And hey, at least I have one draft where I decided to spend that 5th round pick on James Cook over having that other strong third receiver. But I think looking at that, this would have been the perfect roster had we filled out that stronger wide receiver 3 role with the Calvin Ridley, with the Terry McLaurin, and then still have Zamir White as our RB2. That's okay. 2,800, this was pick number 4. We waited on quarterback. Jaden Daniels, to me, is the pick later on in the to spin. Obviously, once Kyler Murray goes, you see the Jordan Loves, Dak Prescott. That's once you see Kyler Murray go, that's when I would start highly considering moving Jaden Daniels up your draft order. So looking at this roster, we ended up balanced again: 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 6 wide receivers, 3 tight ends. With the quarterbacks, we have Jaden Daniels, Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, all 3 different buys. All could just provide tremendous value this season. Our RB1 is Isaiah Pacheco, who we got in the 3rd round. James Cook is our RB2. Zamir White as our RB3. Brian Robinson from there, Jerome Ford, and then Alexander Madison as the one lone backup for Zamir White. But 5 strong RB1s that I think can really anchor this team this season. On our wide receivers, we of course relying on our top 2 wide receiver champion picks in Amon-Ra St. Brown and Malik Nabers. After that, like I said, we did go James Cook. Probably would have been better if we went Calvin Ridley here or Terry McLaurin, since we do have Jaden Daniels. But Keon Coleman to fill that wide receiver 3 role. He is the starter there in Buffalo. Jahan Dotson as that wide receiver 4 to get the tie to Jaden Daniels. Malachi Corley, who could possibly have a good, decent year. I believe he's the Yak King or something like that. Get those yards after catch. So could possibly provide a great role, as teams key more on Garrett Wilson. And, of course, Tim Patrick was the last wide receiver that we ended up taking. Reports are he is the wide receiver 2 there in Denver. Honestly, would not want any piece of the Denver offense, but we'll, of course, take a wide receiver 2 pretty much free later on in the rounds. Tight end-wise, we did spend a little heavy on Travis Kelce. Actually, didn't even spend that heavy. I feel round 3 is probably where you more than likely people are taking him, but he fell to us in the 4th and just thought it was a smash pick. We ended up getting Colby Parkinson since we had Travis Kelce as our champion later on. Reports are he is the starter there in LA, and then ended up getting Zach Ertz essentially as our last pick to tie him with Jaden Daniels. Reports he is the starter there in Washington. So not another bad draft. I personally like this roster. I'll go in with this. Obviously, this is best ball. We have to try and piece together best we can with some of these buys. But I think this is a good roster to take into the season. Now knowing in round 5, going that extra wide receiver, hopefully we can hop into another puppy tomorrow. I don't think it'll fill it by then. But then also, too, at least this Friday, we'll be providing the puzzle of my 14-team draft. It is a one-keeper league, and you get to keep the player that you drafted him last year in that round. So, or if you picked up a free agent and he finished the season on a roster, you can exchange him for a 7th-round pick. So, say, for example, Kyrie Williams was a week 1 pickup for me. Free agent pickup that I ended up grabbing before that week 1 game, and so he is my 7th-round pick. I was able to set up everyone else in the roster on that league as well, so you'll be able to see. We'll be able to see how that draft goes, with it also being a 14-team, bigger team draft. So appreciate you guys following along. Like I said, tomorrow hoping to hop into another puppy. So please, y'all guys take care. Like the videos if you can, and of course share with other people if you can. That's the best thing that can happen here. I'm just a fan, of course, a stan essentially in this fantasy football game. So love draft season. It's ramping up. Heck, like I said, my first official one is this Friday, guys. So excited about that. You guys take care, though. We'll catch you again tomorrow, and see you then.